What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Locks DFS MLB breakdown. My name is Narang. I'm from LocksDFS.com, and I will be breaking down this 13-game main slate on DraftKings and FanDuel for Tuesday, April 16th. Before I get into that, though, I just wanted to show you guys our website if you are interested in getting a season pass, a month pass, or all-access pass for baseball. I couldn't recommend this enough. We've made some changes to our products just as recently as yesterday. We were in the Slack chat a couple days ago talking to members about what more they would like to see on the lock sheet, and we got some great feedbacks. We got people who wanted grades, people who wanted analysis, and so we kind of did all of that. So this was our lock sheet for yesterday. As you can see, we list the top team stacks. We have a weather report, of which there were no concerns yesterday. And then we have our lock sheet, which has all our favorite plays of the day. And we give them we list them by price. We give them a DK rating, a FanDuel rating, based on our own projections. Then we have we list what stack, like how to stack them, who they're going up against, and then we list some real simple analysis. I shouldn't say simple. It's real brief, but it's very in depth if you read it. We go in depth on every single one of these players, looking at all their numbers, and we list it out for y'all. So it's much simpler to digest, as opposed to a lot of other products out there that aren't. It's hard to tell exactly why you want to play someone. So we try to make that as simple as possible for you guys. And so if you guys do get a pass, you get access to this. You get access to us 24/7 in our private members-only Slack chat. It's going up. I mean, it's great. I mean, people always in here posting winnings, just tilting, sweating, whatever's going on. We're always in here chopping it up with y'all. So it's a real fun place to be. Would love to have you guys join. It's not too much. It comes with access to or the Slack chat comes with access with just a month pass. So $40 gets you access to all of this for a month. Definitely think it's worth it if you're interested in upping your game as a DFS player, as far as baseball goes, because I genuinely feel like we're making better DFS players over here. And if you're interested in winning some more, I couldn't recommend it enough. So with that all being said, let's get into this slate. It's a 13-game slate, so it's real big. We got a lot to digest. But again, we don't really have too many high-priced starting pitchers. It's been rare to see a starting pitcher over $11K on DraftKings, which used to be like something that we would see all the time last year. But it just hasn't been the case this year. Out of these top guys, which is really for me just Strasburg and Glasnow, I'm going to slightly lean towards Glasnow. This is a guy who's always had sort of ace potential. He never really figured it out in Pittsburgh. They kept trying to get him to pitch low and away. I was watching this awesome one-on-one like little conversation between Glasnow and this other guy on YouTube. I wish I could give him credit for it. I totally forgot, but it was like this maybe 7-8 minute long convo where Glasnow was just talking about changes he's made from Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. And they got him pitching a little bit more up in the zone here in Tampa Bay. They worked on his curveball a little bit. Tyler Glasnow's a guy who's a two-pitch pitcher. Really, he's got a lethal four-seam fastball, which kind of sits between 95 and 99 miles an hour. And then he's got a wicked curveball that's probably like a top 5 curveball in baseball. And his numbers are insane this year. He's got a 2.29 xFIP to righties and a 2.79 xFIP to lefties. Comes with over K'ing a batter per innings, 11.75 to righties, 10.57 to lefties. Just all around very, very good numbers. His ground ball rate is up as well. It's right around 50%, 40% to righties, 60% to lefties. Fairly low hard contact as well. I mean, to lefties, he's generating 35% soft contact, which is higher than his hard contact. And that's in great part due to that wicked curveball. But just by all accounts, he's an ace. The only tough thing with him is he typically won't see the batting order 3 times. It's just something Tampa likes to do. They're big in analytics. They know that the third time around the order, the pitcher, the advantage switches from the pitcher to the batters. Obviously because they've seen the batter or they've seen the pitcher already twice. So they typically pull their starters when the order comes up for the third time, and that held true even in his most recent game where he was dominating the White Sox. He still only threw 85 pitches. He put up 37 fantasy points because he struck out 11 guys without giving up a run, which is just what Tyler Glasnow does. But he still got pulled at 85 pitches, so that's kind of the risk with him. He may not go above 90 pitches. And so you may see some people go Strasburg. Early ownership projections have Strasburg just a tad higher because he could throw 105 pitches. So if you're getting 20 pitches more for Strasburg, I could totally see why you'd want to go him. But I think I would still prefer Glasnow here just because he's got some crazy upside, and we know that he can do it in a small amount of innings. But what's really interesting to me is actually this mid-price range. And two guys I'm really looking at here is going to be Jon Gray and Jose Quintana. The first guy I'll talk about is Jon Gray. This is a guy who was like a consensus breakout pick last year. Just got really, really good stuff, but never really he didn't really put it together last year, but he still had a pretty good year. He had a 3.53 xFIP to lefties, a 3.42 xFIP to righties, K'd over a batter per 9 to both-handedness, 10 batters per 9 for lefties, 9 batters per 9 for righties. He generated a 53.7% ground ball rate to lefties, 40.7% ground ball rate to 53.7% ground ball rate to righties, 40% to lefties. Really, really good numbers. And he carried it over into 2019 as well. I mean, this year he's got a 2.05 xFIP to righties, K'ing over a batter per 9, 4.25 xFIP to lefties. Obviously, it's a small sample size. You can really bank on this regressing back towards his 2018 numbers, if not taking a step forward. Still generating that great ground ball rate that he does. It's above 56% to both-handedness, which is super impressive. And the big thing to note here is the lineup he's going to be facing is this Padres lineup that, as you can see based on their projected lineup, is all right-handed except for Eric Hosmer, who's never really too big of a threat. And we know, based on his numbers, Jon Gray is dominant on righties. And in addition to that, there is what we like to call reverse line movement on Colorado, and fairly heavy reverse line movement as well. They received 47% of the bets, yet have moved from plus 134 to minus 101. For those of you who don't know, that means that this 47% of the bets includes more money than this 53%, enough money to shift the line by almost 35 points. So tons of reverse line movement coming in on Colorado, partially because of Jon Gray and partially because I think they just overvalued this San Diego pitcher whose last name I can't pronounce. And plus the Rockies have been hitting the ball a little bit better recently. So a lot of factors could take part in this, but seeing the San Diego team total drop a bit definitely helps me solidify my my Jon Gray take here. And then the other guy I mentioned is Jose Quintana. So Jose Quintana is a little bit more interesting. He's a guy who is really mainly a two-pitch pitcher. He's a fastball, curveball guy. And his curveball has been bad the past 3 years. Which is sort of why he's been struggling a bit. Now, we have a really small sample on his curveball so far through this year, but it looks like it's taken a step forward. If we go to plate discipline and value specifically for his curveball, he's generating more of an outside swing percentage, 47.7%. That's the highest rate he's had ever in his career. Generally a higher swinging strike rate, or not generally, just a higher swinging strike rate on that curveball, almost 20%. Which is incredibly impressive. I know it's a small sample size, but we got to take what take what we can. And that all in all reflects in his overall numbers, because if we just filter him based on 2019 and we look at his numbers, I mean, he's got some insane K stuff. I mean, 12.60 Ks per 9 to righties, 18 K per 9 to lefties, 1.86 xFIP to lefties, 3.04 xFIP to righties. And he's got a great matchup. He's got another great matchup versus a Miami team that has been striking out like crazy over the last 7 days. I'll show you guys some of those numbers. But all in all, I mean, I don't need to show you their lineup. It's a weak lineup. It leans heavily right-handed, but he has been pretty good versus righties, and that curveball will help him a lot if he can get that back to its old form. So this is the last 7 days. The Marlins have been striking out at a 32% clip with a 58 weighted runs created plus. That is very, very bad and very, very good for Quintana. And then the Padres, I forgot to mention, for Jon Gray, they've been striking out at a 28.3% clip, not walking at all at a 5.3% clip. And then they have a pretty bad weighted runs created plus as well at 88. Both these guys are pitching in pitchers' parks. I'm very interested in them. You could pair them with a high-priced guy. You could play both of them. You could play some of these other guys that will emerge throughout the day. I think Kyle Gibson might be a guy that gets a little bit of ownership. Pablo Lopez might be a guy that gets a little bit of ownership. So you can play around with it, figure out what works for you, and do well. So with that being said, let's get into the bats. 2 spots I want to talk about, although there are a ton of spots we could talk about. There's just so many spots to go to for bats on this slate. The first guy I'll talk about is Marco Estrada at home versus the Houston Astros. Marco Estrada is a fly ball pitcher who has reverse splits, meaning he gets hit harder by righties than he does by lefties. This is last year, 5.98 xFIP to righties, 5.56 to lefties, increased home runs per 9 to righties. And as you can see, tons of fly balls, 56%, and a decent amount of hard contact at 32%. Now, if we go look at his 2019 numbers, we have more or less the same, 8.52 xFIP to righties, 6.16 to lefties, 2.7 home run per 9 to righties, and that's indicative of a 61% fly ball rate to go along with a 45% hard hit rate. So he's just a bad pitcher, and he doesn't play, and his skill set doesn't play well at all versus the Astros, primarily because they have a very right-handed heavy lineup. All their best hitters are righties: Springer, Altuve, Bregman, Correa, and all of them can hit for power. I mean, Altuve hit 6 home runs in 5 games, and he's probably not considered their power hitter. So just a real bad matchup for him. The only thing that could keep him alive, of course, is the fact that he's a fly ball pitcher in a big pitcher's park. But again, we have to take it for what it is, and it's a perfect matchup for Houston, and we see why with their team total rising from 4-7 to 5-1. And then the other spot that's worth talking about is this Angels Rangers game. Just like yesterday, we got a 5.5 team total for the Rangers, 5.1 for the Angels, 10.5, or I should say 10/10.5 total for this game. It's good. I have a feeling that's going to go back and forth all day. Jaime Barria, these are his 2018 numbers. He's pitching for the Angels. He's got a 4.42 xFIP to lefties and a 5.6 xFIP to righties. Increased home runs per 9 to righties, but the big thing with him is he is a fly ball pitcher, and going to Arlington, getting out of the LA Angels Stadium, and going to a park like Arlington that's a real big hitter's park, going up against a Rangers team that just put up 12 runs, Gallo homered, Shin-Soo Choo homered. These guys are getting hot. These guys are a real good team versus a pitcher of his skill set. And you can stack them up for fairly cheap. Choo's still 4.3. Danny Santana's only 3.8. Mazzara 4.2. Gallo being 4.8 isn't even that bad of a price. So you really can't get these guys for cheap. And I like the other side of this game as well. It's really cheap to stack this side as well, with Fletcher leading off and then Simmons in the 3-hole. Obviously, you want to get Trout in that team, but affordable stacks you can pay up for pitching if you so choose to. With that being said, let's just do these home run calls so we can get out of here. I know this video is kind of dragged on a little bit long. We did our home run calls on the podcast last night. I had my high price guy was Yelich, who hit 3 home runs, and Christian's was Gallo, who hit a home run. Then our low price guys, I had Matt Carpenter, who got his home run robbed by Lorenzo Cain, and then Christian had Ryan O'Hearn, who didn't homer. Hunter Dozier homered, who was a good call for sure, but some pretty good home run calls. Let's see if we can continue that today. So we're going to go with a high price guy above 4K, a low price guy below 4K. The high price guy I'm going to go with is going to be Joey Gallo. This is an awesome matchup for him versus Jaime Barria. Just a power hitter versus a guy that gives up a ton of fly ball. So I love this spot for Gallo. I definitely think he could hit a second home run in back-to-back days. And then coming into this low price range, I'm going to go back to Hunter Dozier. This guy has been absolutely raking the past few games. I'm pretty sure he has 5 or 6 straight multi-hit games. He's hitting for power. He's hitting for average. Ronaldo Lopez is a guy that is another big-time fly ball pitcher. Gives up a ton of hard contact, so fits into the mold for some of these guys like Soler, O'Hearn, and Dozier. But I'm going to go with Dozier. I think he'll be hitting probably cleanup in this spot, and I like him to go yard again. So with that all being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, please do leave a like and comment to be entered into next week's giveaway, where we give away a free season pass of your choice. If you guys are interested in becoming better DFS players, check out locksdfs.com/shop, get a pass, DM me so I can get you in the Slack and we can get rolling. But yeah, with that all being said, guys, thanks for checking out this video. Hope you guys win a ton of money tonight, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.